It's time for some 2016-17 win-loss and playoff predictions for the NBA season. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Time for the win-loss and some playoff predictions here on the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. I just made a video on the award predictions. Make sure you check that out before checking this out. And again, I know the season has technically begun, but trust me, I have not changed any of these predictions as a result of last night's games. So, with that in mind, all this information again down in the description box below. I'm going to go team by team, tell you my win-loss prediction for them, and give you just a little bit of insight because there's a lot of teams, and I'm trying to get out of here honestly as quick as possible. Let us begin. From worst to first in the Eastern Conference, the Brooklyn Nets, 14-68. I think they stink. I hate their roster. It's horrible. Jeremy Lin is your second best player. You have a huge problem. Bogdanovich, Brook Lopez will not stay healthy. We already know this. Trevor Booker, Rondé Hollis Jefferson is a nice defender. He's not great otherwise. Brooklyn Nets stink. Philadelphia 76ers 21-61. Look, I get it. People want to like the Sixers, okay? This is a team that won 10 games last year. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count it on two hands how many games the Sixers won last year. For people saying they're going to make a 17, 18, 19, 20 win jump, this does not happen in the NBA. Sixers don't make that much of an improvement. Miami Heat, I think they stink. Not horribly like the Nets or the Sixers, but they're bad. You have Goran Dragic, you have Chris Bosh, but man, Tyler Johnson, Justice Winslow. Oh, I know Justice Winslow. It's a nice name. Like we know him from Duke, but the guy hasn't done anything in the NBA. He's probably had, I think, one 20-point performance. There's nothing to suggest that Justice Winslow is going to be anything more than an average small forward in the NBA. No game-changing ability, none that we've seen yet. Maybe he shows it, and maybe he displays it, but we haven't seen it yet. Stop talking about Justice Winslow. Move on to the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they stink. I think they're going to be bad. Chris Middleton out for the year for the most part. That's probably going to be the diagnosis unless they make the playoffs and make the Eastern Conference Finals. He's gone. You look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he's a little overrated. He's a guy that is very versatile, can make a lot of moves and whatnot. But he's a guy that when you give him the ball, you say we're down by 3, make a play. He can't do that. He's a guy that gets fast. It's not traditionally, he has to really work for baskets. I don't buy into this stardom. I don't think he's a star. Jabari Parker, now, he could be a star, but it's just Parker and it's just Antetokounmpo. You're starting Deladova. You're starting, your power forward as your center Miles Plumlee. I can't trust this team. I don't think that they're very good at all. And Jason Kidd, I don't like him as head coach. Orlando Magic, Frank Vogel in there. They will improve a little bit, but there's no stars here. You have a bunch of guys. Alfred Payton, he can't score 20 points per game. He'll never score 20 points per game. Vucevic, yeah, he's okay. He can score 20 points per game, but he's not great defensively. He did get Ibaka to help balance that, but I just don't. They need a star. They need a star small forward. They need a star shooting guard. They don't have it right now. They don't get to the playoffs to me. Washington Wizards, I don't love the mix between Bradley Beal and John Wall right now. They're not meshing well. They're talking bad about each other in the media. I don't like it. To me, the Wizards go 38-44, and I don't like the team outside of those two. Otto Porter's nice. He's developing, but not good enough yet. Power forward stinks to me. They need to upgrade their power forward position. I know they traded for Morris, and he's okay, but he needs better than that to me. I don't like the Wizards very much. 38-44. By the way, the Magic were 37-45, and the Bucks were 29-53. I get all this information down in this box. New York Knicks, not good enough to make the playoffs to me yet. I really don't like the bench. I don't know why we keep talking about Brandon Jennings. The guy's been awful to me in preseason. The guy's not shooting well at all. Why are we talking about Brandon Jennings? Why? He's not good. He's not scoring the ball well. Why are we talking about this guy? Screw Brandon Jennings. Let's move on for 39-43. Let's move on to the Detroit Pistons, 41-41. A little bit of a dip from last year, but they were very healthy last year. I mean, honestly, they were. I think they're going to be a little more banged up this year, but if Stanley Johnson can develop, this is a team that can move up the ranks quicker than I'm projecting. So look out for this Pistons team. 7. The Charlotte Hornets 42 and 40. Currently, this team to me, I'm not quite sure. They won 48 games last year, but the year before that, they weren't very good. The year before that, they were good. On a year-to-year basis, you don't know what you're going to get from the Charlotte Hornets, but I like that Kemba Walker has finally taken a step forward to be a star in the NBA, or near a star. Just a damn good player in the NBA. I think we can all agree on that. So I like the Hornets to still make the playoffs. 6, Chicago Bulls. I don't know why people don't like the Bulls. Yes, they can score outside. This is a team that won 42 games last year. They lost Rose and they lost Noah, but they added Wade and they added Rondo and they added Robin Lopez. To me, that's a playoff team right there. I like this Chicago Bulls. I think they added more than they lost this year in free agency. Give me the Chicago Bulls to make the playoffs again. We like 44 and 38 for the Chicago Bulls. Atlanta Hawks 45 and 37. I still think they make the playoffs. I know they lost Jeff Teague, and I know they lost Al Horford, but to me, getting Dwight Howard, I think Dwight Howard's still a little better than Al Horford. I really do, especially when he's motivated, when he's healthy. I like Dwight Howard over Al Horford. Losing Jeff Teague, that hurts. Dennis Schroeder is okay. He's huge. He's a guy that can make some nice plays, but it's a little bit of a loss. So they dip down a little bit, but I still like them to make the playoffs. 4 seed, we have the Boston Celtics 52 and 30. Currently everyone's high on the Celtics. I don't think they make that big of a jump. Okay, the problem for me, Isaiah Thomas is not going to be as good as he was last year. That was a peak year, a great year. He's not going to be that good again. He's not that good of a player. Now, when it comes to Jaylen Brown, I'm intrigued. And he's the X factor to me. If he can come on this year, score 13, 14, 15, hopefully 15 points per game, this is a team that can win 55. I'm not going to say 55 games yet. I'm going to say 52 and 30 for the Boston Celtics. Indiana Pacers, huge jump. Pretty sizable jump, 8-game jump, 53 and 29. I like the additions they made in Jeff Teague and Al Jefferson off the bench. But more importantly, to me, the most important thing about this team, Miles Turner coming into this league. He's a little bit underrated. I liked him coming out more than other people did. I think he makes another leap. I think he makes another jump. And I think as a result, the Pacers make a jump to be, I think, finals contenders. I like the Pacers this year. Toronto Raptors. They're going to go down to me this year. This is a team that was very healthy last year. If DeMar DeRozan or Kyle Lowry misses extended time, this team is finished. And I think one of them probably will this year. I think you've been getting lucky with these these past couple of years. I think they're due for an injury. I think it's sad, but I think it's true. So I didn't dig them down too much because you just can't take too much injury into account. But no, you're just not going to be that healthy again. Jonas Valanciunas missed 20 games. I have a bad feeling that Rosen or Lowry is going to go down, so I'm kind of hedging my bets here. And number 1, Cleveland Cavaliers, 60 and 22. The only reason they don't win more than 63 or 64, the roster is great enough to do that, but they won't care as much as the season moves on. Let's move on to the Western Conference, where we're gonna go worse from first again, where I think the Pelicans stink this year. I don't like the Pelicans at all, and I don't know why anyone does. Right now Anthony Davis cannot stay healthy in his career. They have injury issues everywhere. Tyreek Evans injured. Drew Holiday's wife is causing him hell. He doesn't know where he is. He's not focused right now. I don't like this Pelicans team at all. I think Alvin Gentry was a horrible hire. Look back. I said when they hired him, this is a horrible hire. I hate the Pelicans 23 and 59. Sacramento Kings 24 and 58. They have too much dysfunction. They're trying to trade this guy. They're trying to trade that guy. And I'm not hedging my bets. I'm not going in with the Sacramento Kings. I'm not doing that 24-58 for the Sacramento Kings. Los Angeles Lakers, number 13. And, to me, I want to like the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, but they're still going to have to take time to improve. So this is an 11-win improvement. I have them getting 28 and 54 as their record, but man, it's going to take time. It takes time. It takes years and years for young guys to learn how to win in the NBA. Go back. It took Westbrook and Durant years. This is Durant's, 10th season or 9th season in the NBA? He still hasn't won a ring. So it takes years to learn how to win in the NBA. It's going to take the Lakers years. But look out for D'Angelo Russell this year. He's going to be absolutely great. We move on to the Phoenix Suns, 32 and 50. I think this team is underrated. I like Eric Bledsoe when he's healthy. I like Devin Booker. I like Brandon Knight off of the bench. I like Marquise Chris, who they drafted this year. I like PJ Tucker as a nice little starter. I like Alex Len in his development. I think this team is actually, decent, and they're going to win some games. They could even be better than this and even compete for a playoff spot. So look out for this Phoenix Suns team, 32 and 50. Dallas Mavericks, they take a dip. Okay, I'm intrigued by Seth Curry. I think this guy's a little bit of an X factor for this team. Same goes with Justin Anderson as well. But man, Dirk Nowitzki is getting older. They're getting worse. That's just the damn truth. And Harrison Barnes looks just awful. Oh, he looks awful. Harrison Barnes. I cannot go on the record having faith in this Mavericks team. 37 and 45. Denver Nuggets, same record, 37 and 45. I like their young players, Jamal Murray, Emmanuel Mudiay, Gary Harris. I like them to develop, get better. Yusuf Nurkic and Nikola Jokic. Yusuf Nurkic and Nikola Jokic. These random European big guys that they found. God knows where they found these guys, but they found these guys. I like them. But I don't like the coach. Mike Malone, to me, a little bit below average coach. They had like a Frank Vogel. They had a better coach to me. I'd have them making the playoffs, honestly, but with this coach, I'm not buying it yet. But look out for the Nuggets. I think people are sleeping on them. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves, number 9, 41 and 41. This is a 12-win improvement. Unfortunately, not enough to make the playoffs. I just don't see them making more than 12 wins. I mean, 12-win jump is a lot. I mean, that is a lot. By far the most I have anyone getting this year. I can't see it being more than that. Maybe they do, and maybe this record is good enough to make the playoffs when it's all said and done. But I couldn't put them over the Jazz per se right now. Let's move on to the Jazz. What I have as the 8 seed, 45 and 37. Utah Jazz. I think they're overrated. You've seen. Go ahead. I know you've seen it. You've seen people putting the Jazz as a 5th seed, winning 50 games. No, they're not going to win that. They're not going to stay healthy. You're already saying it. Gordon Hayward's injured. Derek Favors can't stay healthy again. He's having foot problems and whatnot. They won't stay healthy. Of course, they won't stay healthy. Now, I like Joe Johnson and I like George Hill. I like those additions. They're going to be good. They're going to make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs last year. But 50 games, I think that's too much. I think they go 45 and 37. We have the Portland Trail Blazers, number 7. Damian Lillard can only take this team so far. CJ McCollum is all right. I don't like the addition of Evan Turner as much as other people do. And I don't love their center position, Myers Leonard and Alan Crabb. Well, Crabb isn't a center, but I don't like these guys very much at all. I think they need to improve upon that position. So Portland Trail Blazers to me finished 7th. Oklahoma City Thunder, I like them just a bit better than the Portland Trailblazers. I have the Thunder at 47-35 and I have the Blazers at 46-36. For me, Russell Westbrook is better than Damian Lillard. And just the whole overall, this Thunder roster is better than the Portland Trailblazers. Now, we're going to see what their chemistry is like because, you added Oladipo, you added Ersan Ilyasova. They're going to have to learn how to work well together. But I like this team. I don't love this team because I think Russell Westbrook will prove to be a little inefficient this year. That will prevent this team from winning 50 games. But they're still going to be good, and they're still going to make the playoffs. Number 5, Houston Rockets. I like this Rockets team. I like how they're structured. I have them 48 and 34, just one game better than the Thunder, but better than the Thunder. James Harden playing great. Defensively, no, but offensively, he's going to play great under this Mike D'Antoni scheme. He's going to find success and ultimately lead this Rockets team to a very respectable record of 48 and 34. I also like the distribution of shooters. Now, will they stay healthy like Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson? Will they stay healthy? I'm not sure. But currently, I like the Rockets more than a lot of people do. I have them as a 5th seed. Number 4, Memphis Grizzlies. I like this team. Guys, Marc Gasol is back healthy. Yes, he'll have a little bit of a minute restriction, but he's back healthy. Debo, Zach Randolph coming off of the bench. They added Chandler Parsons, is a huge piece. The Grizzlies have been looking for a shooter like Chandler Parsons for years, and they got him. Mike Conley, big contract. He's going to want to show up after that contract. He's more of a guy to take this kind of contract productively than, just to say, okay, I got to pay him, I'm not going to do anything. He's more humble than that. I like this Grizzlies team. I think they're 4th seed, 50 and 32. LA Clippers, only 54 and 28. This is a team that, go ahead, pick them winning 60 games. They're not going to do it. They're going to disappoint you when it comes to the regular season. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. I don't think they take every single regular season game seriously like they should. They can beat good teams every now and then, but in the regular season, they just sleep some nights, man. That's the problem with the Clippers. And also, they have injury issues every year. And the bench is just full with idiots. And I don't like any of these idiots that they have on the bench. I think it's just full with idiots, except for Paul Pierce. He's fine. And a bunch of idiots on the bench like Wesley Johnson and who are we talking about the other day? Like Lance Stevenson. I'm not sure if he's still there. But just a bunch of weird guys. Darrell Ryder. So I don't know who they have. It's just a bunch of idiots on this bench. I don't love it. I like the Clippers to be the 3rd seed, but not higher than that. Number 2, San Antonio Spurs. Yes, they won last night, but to me, they're still worse than the Golden State Warriors. I have them at 61 and 21. Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge, they will win plenty of games. this year for the San Antonio Spurs team, but Pau Gasol doesn't look like a great fit. And I also don't love the aging of Tony Parker. Yeah, he played okay last year, but man, this guy is dipping in production fast. Remember, this guy was a legitimate MVP candidate in what was that, the 2012 season, and ever since then he hasn't done anything. I don't trust Tony Parker, neither should you. And I like the Spurs to be good, damn good, 61-21. How much better than that? And the number one Golden State Warriors, 65-17. To me, they're still great. Okay, now this is them winning, what is it? No, losing 8 more games than they did last year. So this is a great decrease here. I think that's what's going to happen. You know, you have Kevin Durant, you added Kevin Durant, but you're going to lose more games to me because number one, you're not going to care as much about the regular season as you did last year. You already got the record. You don't care about the record. And then number two, the lack of rebounding, the lack of defense. They will have their off nights shooting, and when they do, they will lose. Last night, they weren't as good shooting. They lost, okay? Now, they're going to win plenty of games, though, because they will have plenty of nights in which they're shooting well, and they will shoot well, and they will win. Now, with that said, let's move on to my playoff predictions. Now, I didn't go round by round because honestly, who cares? I made my Eastern Conference, I made my Western Conference, I made my NBA championship, and I got out of here. So last year, I had the Warriors over the Cavs in 7 games. Now they ended up going 7 games, but the Cavs won it. This is the ridiculous thing about this playoff prediction. Let's just be honest. Isn't it absurd that someone is asking you, hey, what's going to happen 8 months from now? And you're supposed to have an answer. And when you're wrong, people hold you accountable for such a thing. That's a little ridiculous. So honestly, I'll tell you right now, if you stay with me throughout this entire season, I'm probably gonna change this because guys, it's 8 months down the freaking road. I don't know what's gonna happen 8 months. I don't know if I'm gonna be alive 8 months from now. So let's take it one day at a time. But for now, these are my predictions. Okay, Eastern Conference Finals. I currently have the Cavs facing the Indiana Pacers, man. I like this Pacers team this year. I think the Pacers team is going to go far in the playoffs. Now, ultimately, I like the Cavs to win. But surprisingly, probably to you guys, I only like them in 7 games. I think they struggle with this Pacers team because they have a guy like Miles Turner that is going to limit Kyrie Irving and LeBron's ability to drive down low. And also, man, this guy can do everything. He can also guard Kevin Love, give him troubles and issues. And the way this Pacers team is constructed, they can challenge the Cleveland Cavaliers this year, man. Look out. Miles Turner, he's the key. Paul George is great. It's Miles Turner that is going to be the big problem for this Cavs team. Ultimately, I have the Cavs making the finals, but y'all need to look out for this Indiana Pacers team. Let's move on to the Western Conference Finals, and I have the Golden State Warriors versus the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this is the problem with the Spurs and the Warriors, okay? The Spurs, they're just a little bit of the Warriors' kryptonite, it seems. You know, they have this lengthy Kawhi Leonard and this lengthy LaMarcus Aldridge and this lengthy Paul George, and they're able to get so many offensive rebounds, so many putbacks, so many second opportunities, so many second chance points, to where I think we have another 7 game series. I think the Warriors win, but man, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and it wouldn't surprise me if we have a Pacers and Spurs finals. It wouldn't. I have the Warriors making it. It's just a prediction to make. Okay, so I have the Warriors beating the Spurs. I have the Cavs beating the Pacers. Who do I have winning it all? I have the Warriors winning it all. Now, and to me, only in 6 games. Now, despite their issues last year, I think this Warriors team, like you hear Colin Cowherd and Charles Barkley say, they're gonna struggle winning a championship for the first time. What are y'all talking about? They already won a championship. There's no hurdle. What are y'all talking about? I think this Warriors team now actually matches up better with this Cavs team than they did last year. You're talking about improving upon Harrison Barnes, who was awful with Kevin Durant. This Cavaliers team, although they did drive a good amount in the finals, not as much as you would think. And I think this Warriors team, the way they constructed, they're going to give the Cavs more issues to me. You're going to have to put LeBron James on Kevin Durant. You have to put Kyrie on Stephen Curry, leaving Klay Thompson wide open to me. I think Klay Thompson is going to be the key to this series. And ultimately, I have the Warriors winning this series in 6 games. Now, again, we're gonna have to see what happens when we get there. I think it's so absurd that I'm asked, what happens 8 months from now? Okay, 8 months ago you said this would happen and it didn't. I mean, that's just ridiculous, guys. Currently, I have the Warriors winning the NBA championship in 6 games, but again, let's take it 1 month at a time, and then who knows what my official prediction will be before the playoffs. Before the playoffs, I'll have a dead set prediction. Let me see the season take forward, and then 8 months from now, I'll know what's happening. Or at least 6 months from now, I'll know what's happening in April when the playoffs start. Okay, so take it one day at a time. Here you go. Those are my playoff predictions for the 2016-17 NBA season. What do you want? Comment down below. I want to know if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and most importantly, to subscribe. Until next time, this is the MJ Take on Sports and Entertainment. Now I'm out.